Hello again, welcome back to the channel, glad you could join me. Today I wanted to talk about Dead Jack and the Pandemonium Device by James Aquilone. I could be overpronouncing that, that would be the Italian pronunciation. I could be wrong. This looks like an Italian name, so I'm pronouncing it as an Italian name. It could be Americanized Italian even, it could be like Aquilone or something of that nature. Pardon me if I'm mispronouncing. Anyway, Dead Jack is a zombie private investigator. He lives in a city called Pandemonium, and I had to look this up because I was getting my references confused. I was getting this confused with Dante's Divine Comedy, but Pandemonium is the capital of hell in John Milton's poem Paradise Lost. So that's where Jack lives, and it does kind of it is a city in kind of a hellish, whether it is hell or not. It's not, as I recall, not explicitly stated. And it is connected to what we would call the real world, because Jack does have fragmented memories of his time as a living human being. So this particular hellish world has, all sorts of evil creatures that live in it. We have demons and succubi and werewolves and vampires and all that stuff. Pictured here on the cover, standing on Dead Jack's shoulder, is his homunculus associate, his sidekick, Oswald. There's more going on with Oswald than is spelled out. And you do get the sense that there's something more going on there with Oswald. Oswald kind of is there with Jack. As I said, Jack has some fragmented memories. He's not really sure of everything, and all he knows is kind of Oswald's been there since the start, since he came to Pandemonium. Couple things about Dead Jack. Again, as he is a zombie, he has the typical craving for brains and all that stuff, which he keeps in check with the liberal use of fairy dust. Fairy dust is a potent narcotic in Pandemonium, and Dead Jack gets in quite a bit of trouble going out of his way to obtain sources of fairy dust. Fairy dust keeps his cravings in check. As I recall, Oswald keeps telling him that he doesn't need the fairy dust to keep his cravings in check, but he doesn't listen to Oswald. He does his own thing. So the story starts out with Dead Jack and Oswald. He's tasked with finding this device, this artifact called the Pandemonium Device. Very powerful device. Nobody tells Jack what it does, obviously. You need to go find this thing because it's one of those investigative tropes where you tell your private investigator as little as you can get away with. And that's the same thing that happens with Jack here. It's go find, mysterious person shows up and says, go find the Pandemonium Device. So Jack begins to investigate. And we meet a lot of other people that are friends and allies and foes to Dead Jack. We also find out that it's kind of weird, but Pandemonium has a thriving criminal underworld. You would think that at a place that's a hellish dimension, that would be the only kind of world that you had, would be kind of that underworld type thing where everybody is out to get everybody. The strong are beating down the weak to survive, and there are no laws because this is a hellish dimension. But that would make for probably a pretty terrible story if there was no law and order. I mean, there really isn't law and order, but the strong make the rules and the weak are forced to obey them. Anyway, So there are a few things that I really liked about this book, and there are some things that, not so great. I liked Jack. I liked him and his interactions with Oswald. It was a fun read, but there were a couple things like I felt that some of the pacing was a little bit off, and it was difficult to find a side to really root for, if you will, because everybody is evil. There's really not anybody that's good in Pandemonium. And so while you have this device that could potentially do anything up to and including destroying the world, who should have it? Which makes it a little bit difficult. It's not like there's even a good faction, because everybody would use this device to their own ends, and no one would use this for the betterment of anyone. It would be only used for the enrichment of themselves. So it was a little bit difficult to find a side to be empathetic or sympathetic towards, because there really is no good side in something like this. And so while I enjoy books like this where you have that mashup of something, a fantasy concept and then some other type of novel, where we have the noir detective and this fantasy world, it feels to me that it should have been set in a more kind of open world where Pandemonium was a morally gray city where you had, even angels or whatever that are part of the structure of the city, where you have good and evil that are both coexisting, with the evil being forced kind of underground. So you have true underworld and true underworld crime. And then you do have a faction that is at least nominally good. I think that would have made for a better dynamic and better storytelling. But regardless, it was still an enjoyable read. If you've read this, please let me know what your thoughts are. Did I get it wrong? Did you have kind of the same feelings that I did? That's it for today. So like, share, subscribe, all that other stuff, so you can get more of these videos, and keep commenting. I enjoy reading the comments that I've been getting on these videos. So thanks again. Enjoy what you're reading, and see you next time.